If you've ever walked out of a doctor's appointment feeling dismissed and then open your chart to realize they documented something completely different, you need to hear this. Because doctors have a coded language for difficult patients, and most people have no idea it's sitting inside their medical records right now. I'm Yadi, IVF warrior, stage 4 endometriosis, and PCOS survivor. I'm a mom to a medically complex child who spent 169 days in the NICU. I'm not a doctor. I'm a mom who learned how to survive the system. And today, I'm going to teach you how to decode what doctors are really saying in your chart, so you stop getting labeled and start getting heard. Medical gaslighting usually doesn't sound dramatic. It sounds professional, and that's why people miss it. Phrase 1. If your chart says patient reports abdominal pain instead of patient has abdominal pain, that wording matters. Reports creates distance. It subtly says this is what the patient claims, not necessarily what we observed. Phrase 2. Non-compliant. This one infuriates me. A lot of times, non-compliant means you asked questions, you wanted options, you didn't blindly say yes. That doesn't make you difficult. That makes you informed. Phrase 3. Anxious female. I went to the ER with pain so severe, I was literally passing out. My chart said anxious female. I was eventually diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis. My organs were literally fused together. I wasn't anxious. I was in pain and being ignored. Phrase 4. Vague symptoms. That's often medical shorthand for I don't know what's wrong, but somehow you become the problem. Your symptoms are not vague just because someone doesn't understand them yet. Here's the mistake most patients make. They try to fight everything in the appointment room. Don't. The real power move, the patient portal. Because once it's in writing, everything changes. Messages are timestamped. Responses are documented. Nobody can suddenly forget what was said. And trust me, providers chart differently when they know there's a paper trail. The perfect example is very recently, my son was getting some testing to rule out cystic fibrosis. He goes in, and at the end of the appointment, I always look at the appointment notes. I go in, I see that the notes are in, and it said patient came in with cystic fibrosis. I immediately got on my chart and sent that provider a very detailed email. Within 20 minutes, my phone rang. It was the provider calling me to say, "Hi, I just met with your son, and I saw the message you sent me. I just wanted to clarify, I changed it in his notes and in his record to make sure that it doesn't say he has cystic fibrosis." I created something called the clarity method. After years of navigating infertility, endometriosis, and my son's NICU stay, I realized I needed to create something because so many of us don't know what to ask. Let's start with C. Call it out. If you see something inaccurate in your chart, don't spiral. Don't rage message. Be strategic. In this instance, with my son's cystic fibrosis diagnosis, I sent the provider this exact message. You see what that does? You're not attacking them. You're making them explain themselves for their reasoning behind writing what they did in your chart. And it is now in writing. Next is L. Log everything. Start keeping records, appointments, portal messages, lab requests, the symptoms you reported, what was said. Because the healthcare system quietly depends on one thing that you won't remember. Patterns become obvious when you're documenting everything. When my son was in the NICU, I saw a chart note that describes me as reluctant to follow protocol. That wasn't true. I was advocating for my son getting breast milk because the protocol wasn't working for my son. But once the label entered the chart, it followed me between shifts, between providers, between conversations. So I requested it be corrected. Next up is A, ask for clarification. I cannot stress this enough. When something in your chart is inaccurate, ask for clarification in writing. You can literally say, I am requesting a written clarification and, if inaccurate, a correction to my medical record. That one sentence changes energy fast because they now know that you read your records, you understand your rights, and you're paying attention. Here's what nobody tells you. When you consistently advocate for yourself, providers start treating you differently. Not because you become louder, but because you became informed. When they know you read notes, when they know you follow up, when they know you document discrepancies, they become more careful. And honestly, they should be. If you want the exact portal templates I used, plus the full clarity framework, I made a guide for you. Just comment clarity down below, and I'll send it to you. These are copy-paste templates you can use when you're exhausted and don't know what to say. Reading your chart and seeing words like anxious, difficult, non-compliant, it messes with your head. You start wondering if maybe you're overreacting, which you're not. Wanting answers doesn't make you difficult. Advocating for yourself does not make you dramatic. You deserve providers who document you with respect. And that starts with knowing what's actually being written about you. So tonight, open your portal, read your notes, and if you find something that's off, drop a red flag in the comments because you're not the only one this has happened to. And if you're ready to stop being the good patient and start being the informed one, subscribe because I'm building a community that refuses to be dismissed anymore. Thank you. Mwah.